Today on Eagle Nation News, Casey Boston meets with the PHS counselor to discuss college applications. If you're a senior, you might want to listen.
Maddie Wilbanks highlights an incredible job of one prosperous student. How has this job impacted the relationship between him and his father?
And finally, Nate Tompkins will be in studio with an update on the Area 51 raid. How did this viral meme become reality?
Eagle Nation News starts
right now. Good afternoon, Prosper High School. Today is Friday, September 20th. I'm Jordan Ramsey.
And I'm Madison Wells. So Jordan, I don't know about you, but I've really done nothing to prepare for college applications.
I get that, Madison. I've only applied to one school, and thankfully I got into that school, but I'm looking to apply to some more, and I feel like many of my fellow seniors can agree. And now, thankfully, we send it over to Casey Boston, who meets with one PHS counselor to discuss college applications.
Thanks, guys. So I'm here with Miss Rowland, who is a counselor here at the high school. So it's finally time for seniors to turn in their college applications if they haven't already. What advice do you have for them?
My biggest piece of advice is to do it as soon as possible. Timeliness is super important for college application and for scholarship applications. The sooner the better. First come, first served kind of situation here.
And I know that some colleges don't require letters of recommendation or personal interviews. Do you recommend doing these things anyway?
I actually don't, because some college websites will even tell you we do not read letters of recommendation. It's just dependent on the school. So do them if they ask for them. If they don't, then hold off.
Okay, and I know that some of my fellow seniors have already applied, but for those who haven't, what's a good range of when you think they should actually have their applications turned in?
Yeah, so when we went into classrooms, we told everyone that we want you to apply to 3 to 5 schools by Thanksgiving. So that's a good cutoff date. You're meeting almost all deadlines for colleges, no matter where you're applying, if you're following that deadline.
Okay, and then what's your final advice that you have for the seniors on their senior year?
Just have a great time. Obviously, academics and your next step is super important, whether that's college or career or military. But have a good time. These are some of the best years of your life.
All right. Thank you so much for being on our show today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has declared a disaster in 13 counties due to flooding caused by the tropical storm Ismelda. The storm has brought heavy rains and dangerous flash flooding to the Houston area, canceling over 900 flights. At this point, 2 deaths have been reported and conditions are still very dangerous.
Just yesterday morning, Austin Middle School, located in Irving, Texas, experienced a 3-hour lockdown due to a potential danger on school grounds. 7 a.m. that morning was when a parent called 911 to alert the police of a man carrying a rifle and possibly an additional handgun in the school parking lot. Although there are no other witnesses, the police still conducted a search due to the woman's emotions and the severity of the situation. After 2 extensive searches for the suspect around and in the school, the Irving police stated that they are 100% confident that the suspect retreated and that the school and kids are safe. Now we send it over to Casey Boston with your Fast Forecast.
Thank you, Madison. Today we will have a high of 87 with a low of 73 with mostly cloudy weather. We may receive rainfall later in the afternoon. Even though this is not ideal weather for the football game tonight, it may clear up by kickoff and should be a lot of fun. Better yet, it's just down the road in McKinney. Looking into this weekend, temperatures should be pretty nice, ranging from the 70s in the morning to the high 80s later in the afternoon, being mostly cloudy. Next week as a whole looks pretty cloudy with some possible thunderstorms. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
After this, Nate Tompkins discusses how a popular meme on social media became a reality.
And the severe repercussions of what originated as just a simple joke. Stay tuned.
We are open before and after school, during Eagle Time, and during all lunches.
We offer chips, candy, drinks, and also spiritware.
Come to the Eagle Shack!
Now we send it over to Nate Tompkins with your Talent Talk update, brought to you by Corbridge Orthodontics.
Many of you have probably heard of the Area 51 meme that circulated around social media a few months ago. Well, today is the long-awaited day, the day that people plan to raid Area 51. Alien hunters are arriving at Area 51 after a viral craze that saw them commit to storm the mysterious U.S. military base. According to independent news, there have been warnings from the U.S. military to anyone who might think of actually trying to breach the base's defenses. There have also been dire warnings from locals who have suggested that visitors might not be able to cope in a town with harsh environments, with no grocery stores and little cellular coverage. Science reporter Andrew Griffin has been keeping us posted of the newest information regarding this event. According to Associated Press, there were about 75 people that gathered at the Area 51 gate. At least 2 were detained by sheriff's deputies, these 2 being named Tyus Granzier and Charles Willimus. Be sure to head over to our Twitter and Instagram and let us know your thoughts on this long-awaited event. Well, that's all the time I have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
There are many talented students here at Prosper High School, but one stands out.
This being as he is the youngest member of his profession across the globe. Maddie Wilbanks has more.
Jed Henderson is a student here at PHS who has an airshow announcing career that he keeps up with outside of school.
I'm an airshow announcer. My dad flies the airshow and does all the aerobatics in the sky, and I'm talking on the microphone while he's doing that. Part of the time I can explain, what he's doing. I can explain his background, how he's gotten there. Sometimes I talk about his competitions that he's won in the past. There's a lot of different things you can do, just kind of interact with the crowd a little.
Jed isn't just any airshow announcer. He happens to be the youngest announcer in the world.
All the airshow announcers in the world, basically, are a lot older. He's the world's youngest airshow announcer. Here at 16, he's already had 9 years experience. I stuck a microphone in front of him. I said, critique my flying like you do when we're at home practicing.
He announces for his father during these airshows. But how does this affect their relationship?
It's a father-son act, kind of, and so it's more of a specialty because all the other performers, they just fly and there's an announcer for the rest of them. But ours is a little bit different because it's a different style of act. It's a totally different airplane. And I am a very, very different announcer from the rest of them, being so young.
It works real well because we have a business side and then we have a father-son side, and so it works out. It's a little bit of a balancing act, but it works fine. And he's becoming very popular, and he's now stealing my thunder, and that's just fine.
For Eagle Nation News, I'm Maddie Wilbanks. Prosper.
Now we send it over to Maggie Hale with your Game Time Sports Update.
Last night, the Prosper hockey team faced off against Frisco in their season opener. The first period started out back and forth until Frisco's Jeremiah Russo scored. Once again, the competition was tight, but Prosper's very own Owen Ramsey scored with 1 minute and 33 seconds left in the first period. Switching over to the second period, Prosper came out hot. Joey Pasciuta scored a goal for Prosper within the first minute. Prosper took the lead 2-1 going into the third period. As this game was coming to a close, Frisco's David Farber was able to squeeze in one last goal, pushing the teams to a 5-minute overtime. They then went into a shootout where Brendan Zeiss came in with a clutch shot, winning the game for the Eagles 3-2. Prosper's goalie for the night, Nicholas Alford, played for 50 minutes and saved 24 out of the 26 shots against him. Prosper Hockey will face off against Keller next Thursday in the McKinney Star Center at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss out on watching these talented athletes, so make sure you're there. If you want to hear more sports like this, be sure to tune in every day for your Sports of the Week. Now I send it back to you guys at the desk.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Madison Wells.
And I'm Jordan Ramsey. Live long and prosper.